Okay, so I'm not insane. There was a City TV news segment talking about how Doug Ford wanted to reintroduce his bill to basically criminalize homelessness. So thank you very much for the people that helped me find it. I watched it. Now let's talk about it. So, back in December, Doug Ford attempted to introduce legislation that would basically put a fine on being homeless on the streets and having like a shelter set up and a encampment. And he wanted to give power to the municipalities to be able to have these encampments removed, police to be able to arrest and fine people that were living in these encampments. Now, at the time, it was not passed. I believe he thinks he's going to try and introduce it again, even though it is extremely unpopular. None of the municipalities want it. Any of the homeless shelters, even the police want to be out and solving crimes. They don't want to be having to arrest homeless people, okay? They have enough things to deal with that they don't need to be arresting homeless people. So, but anyway, so basically Doug wants to be able to fine homeless people for being out on the street in an encampment. He also wants to be able to criminalize it so he can throw them in prison. And of course, like, you sit there and you think to yourself, well, why would he put them in prison? It is cheaper to feed and house a homeless person through like government shelters and food programs and stuff than it is to put them in prison. But of course, they share the cost of prisons with the federal government. So Dougie wouldn't have to be footing the entire bill. And frankly, it's just easier for him to make it the municipalities' problems. Now, the Doug Ford government has given money to the municipalities to create shelters and stuff, but it's not enough. At this point, there has been a 25% increase under the Doug Ford government of people being out on the street and being homeless. He has done nothing to increase ODSP. He has done nothing to increase welfare. He has done nothing to help people that are homeless in general. All he's done is fucking give money to fraudulent spa companies and try and sell off the greenbelt. That's all Dougie's done. And then there was the $200 bribe right before the election. Gee, thanks there, Doug. But the thing is that homeless advocates have and organizations have basically said that it's not enough. They need more money. There needs to be more money invested in government housing in order to provide homes for these people. There has to be more done. And making it a criminal problem guarantees, especially with a $10,000 fine that nobody can pay, guarantees that all these people will end up in jail. And to just sit there and also say that, well, all of these people are doing drugs in these encampments on the street illegally when you've shut down all of the safe injection sites in Ontario is fucking ballsy there, Dougie. Very fucking ballsy, because they had a place that they could go and not do the illegal drugs on the streets, you know, in the parks and the schools that you guys bitch and complain about needles being left in. Well, now you have forced them. Now you have forced them to go back and do it out on the streets. So now there's going to be needles. Now there's going to be fucking drugs, you know, and used needles found in the schoolyards and everything else. Oh, but it gives you a reason to arrest these people now, doesn't it? Because before they were in the safe injection sites and you couldn't nail them on it. So now you give something that the police can go after them and put them in jail for longer periods of time because they got caught using illegal drugs. So this is the problem. The problem is when you take away safe injection sites, there is no place for homeless people to be able to go and deal with their addictions. The only thing they have left are homeless shelters that would provide rehab services, which unfortunately, rehab is not something that's going to help somebody until they're ready to do it. Until they are fully in the mind that they want to get clean and they need to get rid of that addiction, they're not going to go to a rehab center to get help. And you know what tends to make people want to get help and clean up their lives? A safe place to sleep, food on a plate, where they can actually get an 8 hours good night's sleep, where they have a full belly. People tend to turn to alcohol and drugs when they are mentally no longer in a good place, when they are stressed out, when they can't sleep 8 hours because they're terrified that somebody is going to attack them or grape them or steal their stuff while they're trying to sleep on the street. The problem with the Doug Ford government is that he and his cronies only seem to care about the middle class and above. And even then, the middle class is not really, it's more about the rich people. He just looks at anybody who is living in poverty as a fucking problem that he doesn't want to deal with. So he's going to pass it off to the police and make it criminal now to be poor. I said in the beginning that I would not let Doug Ford just get away with any of this shit, and I am always going to report on the garbage concepts and plans and everything else. I'm going to be writing a letter to my local MPP because I do not support this, and I don't want my local MPP to be supporting this either. This is not how you help people that are suffering from poverty and homelessness and mental health problems and drug addiction or alcohol addiction. This is not how you help them. You do not fucking criminalize mental illness or addictions. It is an illness. It is not a crime. And frankly, I am so disappointed in the people of Ontario for allowing this man to come back for another 4 years because you guys either couldn't get off your ass to go vote or because you felt that the other choices were anybody. You know what? At this point, a blind dog would have been a better fucking choice for the Premier of Ontario than Doug Ford and his useless conservative... anybody who felt for this Captain Canada bullshit is going to find out that even if the Liberals come into power for the federal level, we are still going to be in the same shit show that we've been in for the last 7 years, not because of the federal government, but because we have a conservative government running Ontario. All of the problems that we have in Canada right now are mostly because of provinces with conservative governments. And Ontario is one of those that suffers under a conservative government, and yet we continue to fucking elect this guy into power. So, I don't want to hear anyone complain after the Liberals win about how bad Ontario healthcare is, or how bad Ontario education is, or how people are still lining up outside food banks, or living off the street, or unable to afford rent or buy a house, because you know what? It is not the fucking federal government's fault. It is all Doug Ford. All of those things that I talked about, all Doug Ford, because he's the one underfunding education. He's the one who's underfunding healthcare, because we get lots of money from the government. He's just not frigging spending it. Okay? All of the people that are lined up at the food banks and don't have somewhere to go, all the homeless shelters or homeless encampments, it's because there's not enough money being given to the municipalities to create shelters. Doug Ford is not investing money to create government housing. We have almost a 10-year fucking wait for affordable housing through the government. And yet you want to blame the fucking Liberals for the last 10 years for all of this stuff, and yet even though it's been Dougie for the last 7 to 8 years that's been causing this. He didn't increase ODSP. He didn't increase welfare. He hasn't done anything to help people get out of poverty other than line his fucking products. So I pockets. So I really hope you guys enjoy the Ontario Place barren wasteland that we are now going to get stuck with, or the Greenbelt scandal bullshit, and everything else that is just going to fall into utter disrepair and garbage state because you voted for this. You either didn't get off your ass to vote, or you did support them. Fucking rant done.